Mr. Speaker and colleagues, the facts and charges described in Article 1 are based upon the JGO Committee's review of records that include billings and payments for multiple residential utility accounts belonging to Governor Torres during the period February 2015 through August 2021, including records showing overlapping months during which the government paid for multiple residential accounts at the same time. Documentation obtained from CUC of the meters feeding particular structures and areas on Governor Torres's residential properties, including his homes, outside kitchen, and piggery. Requests for reimbursement of certain billings submitted by Governor Torres to the Department of Finance, including reimbursement for a cash payment he made to CUC totaling approximately $6,700. Sworn testimonies received from CUC Executive Director Gary Camacho, Finance Director Bernie Palacios, Special Assistant for Administration Matilde Rosario, Lieutenant Governor Arnold Palacios, and the Governor's Chief of Protective Security, Joey Cruz. We also reviewed CNMI laws pertaining to theft of utility services and government housing, which are referenced in this article. I yield, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, the viewing public, Article 5 clearly displays the governor's negligence of duty during times of crisis. For a span of 6 years, while our community did not have proper shelter, power, or running water and struggled to rebuild their lives and homes, while businesses closed down, jobs were lost, and many worried about how they were going to provide for their families. While schools closed, homes struggled to adjust, and families applied for PUA. While the collective mental health of our CNMI was unstable, anxious, and in shock, the governor and his wife were dining and shopping extravagantly at taxpayer expense. In the span of almost 6 years, he took 120 trips by plane and 85 trips by boat, all funded by our government, costing over $550,000. And he chose to direct various agencies to use precious resources to coordinate a 3-week hunting and fishing promotional expedition when tourism was severely impacted and flights were not even active. During this time of natural disasters, austerity, furloughs, and a pandemic, we needed a leader. Instead, the chaos was further intensified by sole source contracts, vendor favoritism, shuffling of cabinet members, silencing first responders, threatening of job transfers, FBI raids, IPI Best Sunshine Casino drama, and allowing unprofessional and unethical behavior to happen under his watch. He was complicit. He chose to be involved or look the other way. This is not the kind of leadership we need. This is not the kind of leadership we deserve, especially during a time when climate change, militarization, and climate colonialism are major existential issues that deserve attention. This blanket of fear that the governor continues to perpetuate in our government and communities cannot be seen, but it is felt, and it is felt by many. The governor's seat is a foundational and trusted position in our government. It must be solid and authentic. When a block in our foundation is cracked beyond repair, it must be replaced because it threatens the very structure and safety of our home, the CNMI. And that's really what this is about. It's about effective governance. It's about leadership. It's about trust and making hard decisions in order to see the change we want in the CNMI. And today we are making a clear statement that we will work for that change. We want that blanket of fear to dissolve. We want to truly make our CNMI a better place for everyone. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm ready to vote.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the people of the CNMI, both at home and abroad, we are here today to take a very important action on the people's mandate, your mandate, to impeach Governor Raul de Leon Guerrero Torres pursuant to Article 2, Section 8 of the Constitution of the Commonwealth for commission of felonies, corruption, and neglect of duty in violation of Article 3, Section 19 of the Constitution of the Commonwealth. It's really quite simple. The governor took a constitutional oath to faithfully discharge his duties as the people's governor and to support and defend the very Constitution and laws of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, for which he is now being charged for neglect of duty and contempt of the legislature, simply because he failed to comply and he chose to disregard the law of the land as if he was above the law. This governor claims unfairness, but he was given every opportunity to avail under the protection of our laws to be heard, defend, and to state his position in the matter. Yet, he chose to defy the legislative subpoena and doesn't show up on the day he was scheduled to appear in the House of Chamber to answer questions and to clear his name once and for all. To add insult to injury, he filed a lawsuit against the JGO committee because they found him in contempt for no-show. With several attorneys at his disposal, one specifically hired from the US mainland costing taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars, we have yet to obtain answers and explanations to many of the questions regarding the legitimacy of his expenditures and reimbursements. Yet, concerns of illegality are bountiful. Selfishly, as a person who holds the highest seat in public office, he has broken his oath, his sincerity to serve the public, and his promise to place people's interests before oneself. The very laws that gave him the extravagant legal defense one could buy are the very laws he had broken. His cries of witch hunt, political posturing, charade, circus, and whatever stuff he was throwing out there only deafens the ear of liberty, justice, and mocks the rule of law. The boastfulness of his propaganda and the political fear-mongering only further erodes the fabric of his stature and title. Against all odds, despite political influences and access to countless publicly paid attorneys, there were also those courageous government employees, including the lieutenant governor, who gave damaging testimonies against this tyrant of a governor. And for that, we applaud each and every one of them, and we thank them for their bravery and for doing the right thing. It is undeniable and brings much sadness that the ones who suffer most are you, the people. You, our brothers, our sisters, our neighbors, our family members, and especially our loved ones. The pain instilled, I hope, will not be inherited by future generations to come. Today marks the beginning when the people take back what is rightfully theirs, the power they had but temporarily lost. The journey ahead is not easy, but like any deep-cut wound, we too shall heal with time. To my colleagues across the aisle, I commend your decency to look beyond party lines for the greater good of our people and take the necessary first step for a better tomorrow, a better CNMI. As we occupy this seat of honor, let us remind ourselves that it is not ours to do as we please. The seat bestowed upon us belongs to the people. It is this allegiance to the public as a whole that our sitting governor has truly forgotten. To members of the Senate, our colleagues, we plead that you lay down your political aspirations and party loyalty. Put aside all differences, baseless propaganda, and respect the duties as public servants and strict adherence to the rule of law. We must always be mindful each and every day that we must lead with integrity, humility, and the love for our people. The vicious cycle of abuse, corruption, and people suffering must end. Na para, por favor, fangay maasi ni itaw-tawta, sa mampus man masasapit. Ti mamiresi esti na klasin tratamento, san disrespeto, especialmente ginin mismo I gobernanta. Tadza probetsu zan beneficio para itotota. So to Governor Torres, you hold the most prestigious seat in public office ever given by the people, yet you are now charged for abusing their trust. You, you, you swore an oath to faithfully discharge your duties and defend the laws of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands and its constitution, yet you managed to bastardize and taint the sacred pledge. Governor, please honor your promise and abide by the rule of law. Resign from your post and let the people keep the sanctity of this establishment. Situs Maasi Angeliso, respectfully, the people's representative. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.